Hey, what's up, guys? It's Josh, and today I want to go over a new track that I've written for a competition hosted by Orchestral Tools. Some of the criteria was you're supposed to use sounds that they given you as a sample pack. It was from the Modus Orchestral Tools library, and then along with that, it had to be 1 to 2 minutes long. The brief was, how would it sound if you were to discover a new universe? And it could be good, it could be bad, whatever your interpretation was on discovering a new universe. Okay, so I'm going to play this track for you right now, and then from there we'll break down the track and do the little behind the scenes. So that was my take on something that was more sci-fi and discovering a universe. Where you're actually facing peril. And so, what would that feel like? What would that sound like? Of course, with the sounds that I was given, it kind of helped me steer that direction. So I'm gonna actually go over some of the tracks, the sample packs in particular right now. So the first sample pack that was given to me to write with was the this Klingon track. So I'll open that up. And the Klingon track was from the Modus sample library, which is from that Discovery competition. And if I open that up and play a little bit for you, you can hear how the Klingon sounds. Yeah, really fun. Um, to me, it just sounds very aggressive. There's a lot of power behind these vocals, so I thought it'd be fun to use that in the piece. So as more of like a war chant. All right. All right, now we're going to go to the other sounds. So from here, you also had the tension sounds and the string sus, all from the modus. So let's hear that. Okay, and here's the string sustains. Really rich, wonderful sounds. Put that together. Okay. There's also the woodwind So this was a transitional type of sound. Let's hear how that sounds. Okay. And then I'm playing, at least on this part, there's actually two sounds going at the same time. So I actually rendered one, and one is playing an octave lower. Then, because the way it triggers is just one note, it goes from a high note to a low note. I also put in a rendered note that would go back up. And let's hear all those sounds together. Okay. Other sound effects that you just heard was string effects. It says east west, but I believe it's from actually orchestral tools. It was a glissando sound going up, so it was like a high strings glissando up direction. But what I did was I reversed it, so I played it one way and I reversed it to go downwards. So I thought it still sounded good going that way. And then there was another one from Metropolis Arc 1. Right. So there are quite a bit of sound effects here and there. Here's another one. This is a low brass one. We'll hear it in context. Good. So doing those aleatoric sounds in your track will instantly make things a lot more hip, and they give you in that gets you in that mood of certain things. So in this case, it was that danger feeling that I was going for. You know, as far as music theory element to this, it's pretty straightforward. It's in the key of D. Let's see here. There's a nice little chord before this next section starts. So that part. Okay, so that build up to that new section, it's doing a kind of I think it's called a backdoor chord progression. So it goes to the major 6th, major 7th, and then back to the tonic chord. So you got C, and then it goes back to D. And as it goes to D, it's just a thin melody in the brass. Just playing the top note. There's no bass or anything to support underneath. But what that will do is it kind of gives you this moment to add the drums. So you have this and this together, and this together. Let's hear how all that sounds. Oops. This, and this. So it's good to, you know, if you have these little holes in your instrumentation and the brass sounds kind of high and thin, you know, if you can compensate in other instruments to make it sound full. Okay. Other things that you might find interesting is over here. I'm gonna find all the instruments that play it so you can see visually what it's doing. Okay, so as you can see, there's D, B flat, F, and then it goes to A, F sharp, D. So this is a B flat chord, and then this is a D chord, B flat, D. So it's actually just it's trading off between the B flat and the D sharp, D major. So those are actually a 6th apart from each other. and it gives us kind of back and forth of this duality of some sorts. Okay, as soon as it goes here, now it modulates from D major to D minor. Okay, and from that point on, it's in D minor. So it's really fun to kind of mess with the modulation and the chord progressions in a way where it's not just one thing, especially in more action cues. You're going to be modulating. You're going to do fun little runs. So you're not thinking chord progressions per se, but you're thinking more of these like motifs. So a perfect example of that is right here. So what I'm using here is just a measured tremolo sample from, this is the East West Orchestra, and as you'll see, it's just going. It's just playing that rhythm in succession where it's just a constant bow. And so I'm just playing that in a, let's see here. This is a half or octatonic scale, so a half whole step progression. So going from here to there, there. Let's try here. Oops. And then play it together. Good. And even here, this is a counter melody harmonizing these notes up here in octaves. And but if you look at the notes, it's still doing the same. It's still in the same scale of the octatonic, going half and the whole step, half, whole step, and so on. Another element that I like doing is adding these trumpets and the brass. So the brass and trumpets here are doing these double tonguing. Sorry. Well, that was actually really fun to build. It gives us a little breather, and it goes back into the melody. So I'll play that all together for you. So that whole section you just heard is kind of like, for me, how can you shape the energy level in a short amount of time, tell a story within that moment. For me, it's kind of like they're diverting from the Klingon warship, and they're kind of like trying to run away from them, and then they hit a wall or they hit an asteroid or something, and they have to do a spiral, and they're spiraling down, and they come back up, and then now they're able to move again, something like that. That's the vision I'm seeing for that moment, and it goes back into this big melody section here, and then it just keeps building and building till the very end. I hope you guys enjoyed this behind the scenes video that I've made for you guys. Go ahead if you have any questions, or if there are any things that you like, go ahead and share in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe, ring the notification bell. Also, I have a newsletter if you want to see more announcements on when my future streams are going to be happening, live streaming, composing tracks from scratch. Go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. I also offer private lessons, so if you guys want to get one-on-one hands-on training for things like music technology or composition, I'll be happy to share that with you remotely. Alright, we'll talk to you later. Thanks.